There we go. Good evening, everybody. It is Tuesday night here at the BT Network, and that means it's time for political catch-up. Yeah, we could not escape politics forever, but at least we're not going to do it every day. We leave that to the pros. But anyway, I'm your host for tonight. I am Oddball Stream. I'm
And
online. Uh-huh.
some of the pros we're talking about are like Jesse Dollamore,
Brian Tyler
Brian Tyler
Cohen,
Cohen,
Farron
Jack
Cousins.
Cochila, jo- Jack Cochila,
Mm-hmm.
uh, those kind of people.
Yeah.
So
But our deal is, you put up with enough all the time already. So why do we have? We just want to. We'll just do like catching up and such, and that's our job. And also, let's see.
that's why
Also,
we call it political catch up.
yep. Anyway, also we have our master and creator Frodo. Hello, Frodo.
Yep.
And then
Which
below,
tonight, those that don't know my real name will actually find out my real name.
yeah, you'll see why. Trust me. And below we have our different Lala. La la la.
Evening, guys. As you see, I am laying down in my room. I got my tablet running because mainly I need something that'll help me sleep. So, yeah, I decided to join in because I want to put my 2 cents on a topic
Okay.
that I wanted to discuss with everyone, but mainly I will get to that at a later time after they do political catch up. And after that, then we'll get to the topic at hand because I need to get this out of my chest.
Okay.
All right. Well, let's start off with. I'm going to start off by telling a little bit of a story. Here in Cedar Rapids, where I live, which is in Iowa, and those who don't know, Iowa's a pretty fucking red state, except for the cities of Cedar Rapids, Iowa City, Ames, Davenport, and somewhat Des Moines. We're pretty we're pretty freaking Republican here today. Well, our city has the what do you want to call it? The region's um Department of Homeland Security office, which is also houses immigration and customs enforcement. Um, the ICE, DHS and ICE decided to put a request to the city to have a fence be allowed to be placed on public right of way in the in front of the office, 7 foot tall fence designed to prevent uh, citizens and people from being able to monitor what is going on at the ICE office. I I'm going to preface this by saying before what you see shows here, everybody before me was completely against that fence, completely against ICE's attempts to push the people who want to accompany these immigrants to the ICE office because they've been known to push those demonstrators out onto the street itself. Um, and now they're wanting to take up a good portion of the right of way in front of the office to prevent us citizens from being able to redress our grievances to the government. Shirley,
Yes.
that leads up to what I showed you.
Uh huh.
Go ahead.
All right, give me just a second here because I've got to get it up first. So bear with me. Hang on. Okay.
Sure.
There it is. Got it. All right, so ready or not, let's hit play on this thing. Except where is play? There it is. All right, here we go.
Chang. Already done? Okay. Joshua Candler. Or Candle.
Before I speak, I just want to make sure you know it's Candler. Okay?
Thank you, Candler.
Thank you. To start with, I'm going to go and say I agree with everyone here who says that that fence at the ICE office is unneeded. It is absolutely unneeded. We do not need to have
And
a
there's
fence
me.
in that area because the citizenry of this city has the absolute inalienable and undeniable right, as per the Bill of Rights that was ratified in this country 233 years ago, that we have the right to redress our grievances with the government, no matter what level of government agency that is. It doesn't matter if it's the president directly. It doesn't matter if it's the Congress. It doesn't matter if it's police officers or the city council, okay? What I am going to do, though, because I do not see the reason to call that organization by their actual name, which is the Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency, for the duration of my speech right now, I'm going to call them what they essentially are. They are the American Gestapo. These people are being put on this job to sow fear, sow hatred, sow division into this country. The people in charge of this organization are doing this on purpose to make it so that we, as citizenry, are divided amongst each other. Do we want, this country was founded by immigrants, for immigrants. Me, myself, I come from Spanish descent and English descent. And I think some German descent too, but let's just not go there. I've been in this country for 40 years. I've seen the greatness this country has. So we have the Bill of Rights that's been in existence and active for 233 years. And then we've got people in the past, like Mr. Hitler, who decided Mein Kampf was his great idea. I'm not trying to say that you guys specifically are purveying Mein Kampf, but what I am saying is that what is going on in this country is the definition of Mein Kampf in its entirety. Hatred of the people who come wanting a better life, immigrants. Hatred of the press, because the press is the enemy of the people. Make blank great again. This is all from the World War II Gestapo level playbook. And the fact that me, being someone who studied World War II and what led up to World War II and what led up to the Holocaust, everything that is going on in this country right now is following that blueprint. And this American Gestapo that we have right now is exactly part of that. It's them versus us. It's us versus them. No, it is not. It is not us versus them. It is we are all human beings and we all have the right to exist. Nowhere in the Constitution does it say that the rights afforded under the Bill of Rights are only for citizens. The only locations where in the Constitution citizenry is required is being a representative, a senator, or being a natural-born citizen to be the president. Everything else applies to every single man, woman, and child that steps foot in this country. I appeal to you to deny this fence, deny ICE's attempts to strip our First Amendment rights, and deny them the ability to keep us from seeing what they're doing. Thank you very much, Council.
Thank you, Mr. Candler. Mimi Dowd.
Okay. Well done.
Now that I'm going to say this right now, that was the first time that Shirley has heard that in its entirety.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what her opinion is, but I seriously believe every single word of what I said there.
And I agree with you. I would be scared out of my mind trying to say that in front of city council.
Yeah. Well, I felt like I had to do something. I had to do something to make my point clear.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that, for lack of better term, that ICE is the American Gestapo, people need to recognize what that actually means.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not using the word Gestapo in a facetious way either. Because if you look at what they've done, everything that ICE has done,
Mm-hmm.
they've literally said it's us versus them, two people. It's and Trump in his statements has said make America great again, that the press is the enemy of the people. This
Mm-hmm.
is all stuff that follows the fucking Nazi playbook to a T.
Yeah.
And that's what bothers me the most, is that so many people don't see how close right now we are to straight up Nazi America.
Yeah.
And I don't say those words lightly, because I know on this platform, saying those words can be very divisive,
Mm-hmm.
right? And very powerful statement.
Mm-hmm.
But if you follow what's going on, none of what I said was wrong.
Mm-mm.
It was so real that I had a city council member. I had a city council member named Anne, who literally me after it was done, that every single fucking word that I was real. And she has personal experience because she was in Czechoslovakia during the time that the Berlin Wall was up.
Hmm.
So she's seen the deconstruction of Nazism, the continued us versus them mentality from East and West Berlin.
Mm-hmm.
She saw all of that. And to hear from someone who is also a powerful person, namely council member, and I'm actually going to call her out right now. So give me one moment,
Okay.
because I actually want to get her name exactly right. Just one moment, because there we go. Mayor and City Council. I want to call personally out council member at large Ann Poe for her words to me after after my statement, and her statement of support for what I said. Um, I truly believe that it takes people like Ann Poe and David Mayer, David Maier, another at-large council member, has actually been going down to these uh, ICE accompaniments. So I want to thank both of them personally for stepping in and um, stepping in and joining the people of this country and this city in causing good trouble, for lack of a better term.
Thank you, John Lewis, for that term. Good trouble.
Yeah, and the fact is, it is good trouble because it's the kind of trouble as a country
Mm-hmm.
we need more of.
Yeah.
We need more people to protest what's going on. We
Yeah.
need more people to say enough is enough.
Mm-hmm. Because
We all
you've
go ahead,
yeah,
Shirley.
because I don't know if you've seen this, but I've seen this video circulating around threads. It's like there was this one guy, I think it was on the south side of Chicago. Um, people, couple supposed ice ages. I don't know if they really were, but they were basically trying to get this guy out of the vehicle and trying to grab him all. But oh boy, people rallied around and they were forced to let him go, and they had to take off.
Yeah, this is the problem with this country, with what's going on. ICE thinks that they have absolute authority to do whatever they want, including but not limited to taking away the people's First Amendment rights.
Mm-hmm.
That's, like I said, the Bill of Rights has existed in this country for 233 years.
Mm-hmm.
And you can fucking fact check me on that because I fact checked myself beforehand to make sure that I got the number right.
Mm-hmm.
For 233 years, this country has been very strongly of the belief that the immigration that we get is not a negative thing until now.
Mm-hmm.
Until now.
Yeah, because there was.
And every.
Yeah, I'm just a quick thing. One my favorite. You may think this is crazy. My favorite song ever from Schoolhouse Rock is "The Great American Melting Pot."
Exactly. That's what we are.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said at the end, it is not a case of us versus them. It is a case of we are all fucking humans, and all fucking humans deserve to be treated with respect and decency. Everything that's going on is following the Nazi playbook to a T.
Mm-hmm.
Trump has admitted in the past that Mein Kampf is one of his favorite books ever. This is a, for lack of a better term, Nazi takeover of our country.
Uh-huh.
Mr. McCarthy, you were about 30 years to 40, 30 to 50 years too early with your thing.
Uh-huh.
Although McCarthyism was wrong, if you could see this country right now, you would definitely be saying that this is horrible.
Mm-hmm.
What did you listen to it, Lala?
Yeah, no, I didn't hear it, but I
Lala.
understood what you were saying. But I'm definitely gonna check it out on the YouTube because my dad and my grandmother are asleep right now.
Ah, that's fine.
It's not on YouTube. It's on Facebook.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's actually in the group chat too. So when you get a chance, you don't have to do it right now, but it's there.
Oh, you put it in the group chat for fun?
No? Oh no, I'm sorry.
Did I? I thought.
I think you did. Or did you put it in?
Huh. I
No.
gave it to you privately so that we could get it on the show.
Oh, okay. Oops.
But yeah, if you want to put it in the group chat, do it.
Okay. All right. Give me a second. Am I
But yeah,
getting the wrong freaking window? Up there it is. Okay.
it was it me standing up there. I'm not the best at public speaking. The problem with me is I've done speech classes before, and everyone says, "Oh, you got to practice your speech. You got to practice." No, I can't do that because if I practice, I'll fuck shit up. Every word of what I said was on the moment, was decided to be said at the moment I said it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And I think that makes.
Now I just put it in the group chat.
And I think personally that makes what I say more authentic, would be a good word for it.
Mm-hmm.
So what did Mr. Sajo say about what I said?
Let's see. He said Frodo is telling real facts. Ain't that the truth?
Yep. Best part about being me is I can memorize a lot of facts. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like people always question, how the hell do you remember all this shit? My brain is just a claptrap for everything. That could be a good thing or a very bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, do you have anything else? Anything you want to discuss right now, Shirley?
Well, I haven't heard about this one, but there was a situation where a teenager in New Jersey basically he was stalking someone because she refused his advances, but she also didn't like Charlie Kirk, and he basically ran them down with his Jeep. The two were on bicycles, and he killed them. Allegedly. Can't say, have to use the word allegedly.
Yeah, we have to do that to cover our asses, but
Mm-hmm.
this is a part of the problem that I'm seeing in this country. Okay. There's a lot of adult men, and although I question calling them men,
Mm-hmm.
I only do it because for factual reasons. But there's a lot of adult men in this country who have this weird, warped idea that all women need to kowtow to them.
Mm-hmm.
That they are more important. What they want is more important than what the woman wants
Mm-hmm.
in question. And it doesn't help that right now we've got a president who's basically admitted on live TV, well, not on live TV, but on recorded stuff, that he has no problem with forcing women to capitulate to his demands.
Mm-hmm.
We know this from E. Jean Carroll as well. I personally believe that the man in the White House, the child in the White House
Mm-hmm.
right now, is the catalyst for a lot of men believing that they can do whatever they want.
Mm-hmm.
And if you disagree with that man as a woman, you don't deserve to live, is what they're basically thinking. To me, that whole idea is above and beyond anything else stupid, offensive, and to be frank, anyone who thinks that way, in my opinion, any person, I don't care if you're man, woman, child, whatever, needs to be shamed out of public.
Mm-hmm.
This is the one instance of such that I think that cancel culture has it right. People who are using positions of feigned authority to hurt another human being
Mm-hmm.
don't deserve that feigned authority.
Yeah.
And in fact, all they really deserve is a pair of beautiful little silver wrist accessories
Mm-hmm.
placed on them in the back of their body.
Yep. Okay. What I mean is, I found a story about this, about the 17-year-old who basically drove into the two girls. So this is courtesy of Wonkette.com, and I checked. This is a legit site. So, all right. So basically, it starts. Let's see. A fan of Charlie Kirk and Andrew Tate killed two teenage girls last week. So it starts with this. I built a great following on TikTok with 39,000 followers that I have grown since 2020. And I want to thank each and every single one of you, 17-year-old video game streamer Vincent Bettoloro said in a video last Tuesday morning. I love you all to absolute death, and regardless of what happens, if you don't see me streaming for a while, for a little bit, you'll understand why. The why would be because the night before, Bettoloro intentionally drove into best friends Maria Niotis and Isabella Salas at 70 miles an hour in a 25 mile an hour zone while they were riding their e-bikes in the small New Jersey town where they all lived. The other why here would be because Bettoloro had been stalking and harassing Niotis for at least 3 months by then. He frequently parked outside her house and refused to leave. He harassed her online, on the phone, and then bragged about it on his streaming channel. Bragged about how his uncle was the chief of police in a neighboring town, so nothing would ever happen to him. He made videos of himself ordering pizzas to her house, claiming it was revenge for her making fun of Charlie Kirk's death. Also said, hey, whenever Maria sees the pizza guy come, better think of Charlie Kirk for making fun of his fucking death, stupid ass clown. Just remember that, he said. She made fun of Charlie Kirk's death on TikTok on a repost. Maybe her mother should monitor her social media activity. Now, Inside Edition, which credit where it's due, was one of the only national news outlets to mention the Charlie Kirk of it all. reported that Neotis had initially rejected Betelauro's advances. Unfortunately, that's a movie we've all seen before. In the video, Betteloro is asked if he would ever go and watch the pizzas get delivered, to which he says, "I did that the last time, but the mother saw me pull up in the car and I got tracked and the police, did what they did." Whatever it was, it clearly wasn't enough. Neotis' family had, according to friends and neighbors, reported all this to the police, who did nothing. It's possible that this was due to his uncle being police chief in a neighboring town, or due to the fact that his father had been a cop as well, but it's hardly unusual. Victims of stalking are rarely told that police can't do anything until the stalker does something more serious than ordering a pizza to their house. As we have noted many, many times, the Supreme Court has determined that the police do not have an obligation to protect anyone from harm, even if they have an actual order of protection. In the case linked in the last sentence, a woman had called the police to report that her estranged husband, whom she had an order of protection against, had just called her to tell her that he had taken their children to an amusement park. She called the police, who didn't bother doing anything about it until he showed up at the police station several hours later, guns blazing and the dead bodies of his 3 daughters in the back of his truck. The court determined police had done nothing wrong, so as much as the writer wants to blame lack of action on nepotism, it is par for the course. Now, in his videos, Bartarolo claimed that Neolis had falsely accused him of sending her child pornography, given their ages. This could be a picture of himself or someone else their own age, and that he'd been barred from going to school as a result of this. It's not clear if that is where this all started, or if she was claiming that this was part of the harassment. I'm a nice kid. I'm 17 years old with a good family by my side, and these allegations have been ruining everything. It is a shame, Betelaro said in the video he streamed the day after allegedly killing, Maria Neotis and Isabella Salas. Even after literally ending 2 lives, he still saw himself as the victim. I wonder where he learned this behavior. The writer spent the better part of a month crying that the left is inciting violence against him by calling people Nazis and fascists just because they express an admiration for Francisco Franco, a desire to give people Pinochet-style helicopter rides, or order military takeovers of cities they don't like, or even just for criticizing Kirk and others who hold such views by being horrified by the things he said about women, LGBTQ plus people, and people of color. Since then, there's been this double murder courtesy of a white conservative male. There was, on the same day Kirk was killed, a white supremacist school shooter in Colorado. There was Joshua Cole, who was arrested after threatening to shoot up an Abilene, Texas Pride event in order to pay them back for taking out Charlie Kirk. Just this weekend, the house of a judge who criticized the Trump administration burned down. While it's not known yet if it was arson or some other cause, South Carolina Circuit Court Judge Diane Goodstein had been receiving death threats for weeks after having blocked the state from giving voters data, including names, addresses, driver license numbers, and social security numbers, to the Department of Justice. Goodstein was not home at the time of the incident, but at least 3 family members were and have been hospitalized with serious injuries. And we all know what the statistics are from before that day. Notice that there's not been any hysteria from the right about this incident, the way there was about Kirk, or even Irina Zarutska, the 23-year-old Ukrainian refugee murdered on a train by a mentally ill person. This doesn't make them feel unsafe. They're not fretting about how kids can't ride bikes in the suburbs without worrying that some angry white video game streamer will run them over. I mean, that's because the part where he was angry at the girl over Charlie Kirk comments or his fondness for Andrew Tate somehow didn't make it out of the local reporting in New Jersey. It wasn't mentioned at all in the New York Post article on the attack, which is par for the course, but it wasn't mentioned in the New York Times or CBS's either. It could be that. Let's see. There's a lot more to this. Oh, wait, there's a couple more paragraphs. Somehow, when it's a straight conservative white guy who is not a part of any other subgroup they have a particular issue with, he's just a lone wolf who was probably crazy anyway. He's an individual. He doesn't represent the group writ large. Anyone else commits a crime and it's reflective of their entire gender, their sexuality, their race, their political orientation, and if not that, of the local area in which they live. And yet, even if making fun of Charlie Kirk's death were the only impetus for that particular pizza delivery prank and not the murder, it's not irrelevant that he was a fan. Kirk was an extreme sexist who did not believe women should have careers or that their only value was in submitting to their husbands and taking care of children. Makes me glad I've never been married.
So, I just found something interesting. Senator Elizabeth Warren and other senators had some meetings today with different members of the Trump, for lack of a better term, organization. Okay? And it got kind of heated. So Elizabeth Warren asked the nominee to be the Army's lawyer, Trump's nominee to be Army lawyer, this question. Is it consistent with the First Amendment for the Department of Defense to revoke a reporter's press credentials for publishing a story that's critical of Donald Trump? The gentleman answered, yes, if the basis was that the person published information that was not otherwise approved for release by the department. And all Warren had to say was, whoa. Why? Why did she say that? Because of exactly what I talked about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
This is a Gestapo type fucking organization.
Well, anyway,
Do you agree?
yeah, I agree. Here's one last paragraph. Battleoro and young men like him are being conditioned by various influences to alternately hate and resent women, to believe that they are being victimized by women, to feel entitled to women, and to believe that women are their inferiors and must do as they say, as per God. When they are surrounded by a right-wing culture in which repeal of the 19th is a popular hashtag, and influencers, even female ones, regularly make the argument that giving women the vote ruined the country. When they are told that empathy is a sin, what happens when a boy whose mind has been poisoned like that gets rejected? When he has some kind of other issue with a girl? Well, unfortunately, sometimes it's things like this. And that's the end of the story.
So I just want people to understand what we are fighting against here in this show and on the streets and everywhere else right now is not fighting against America. No, because America is not just Donald Trump. America is every single man, woman, and child in this country.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm going to say is going to sound crazy. However, anybody who thinks that they have a right to step on other people's rights, to turn other people's rights into their own, whatever you want to say about it.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone who thinks that needs to seriously reevaluate what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Because your rights I will treasure to the best of my ability forever.
Mm-hmm.
However, your rights do not override my rights.
Mm-hmm.
Rights to do what you feel like do not override what I have. What do you think?
Yeah. Because it's like, Trump saying, "Oh, we're gonna send troops from Texas to California." It's like, nope, and a judge struck that down anyway. You're not sending National Guard troops from Texas to California.
Yeah.
I have a topic I would like to discuss.
Okay.
Frodo might know about this and he can probably give a better response to this. This software just came out recently, about a couple of days ago, called Sora 2.
yeah, I've seen stories about this, and th- this is using AI to produce uh
Like videos of deceased, in some cases, deceased people.
yeah.
And
Not only deceased, but mainly Nintendo, um, anime, a lot of political figures. Yeah, so basically, due to the backlash, they kind of put restrictions on stuff that you make.
yeah,
And now people are getting mad about it.
Well, I kind of agree with being mad at this because it we don't need to be reviving people through AI.
no, because
You know,
Robin
no
Williams,
offense, but
yeah, Robin Williams' daughter is getting sick of getting these AI videos because she's like, it's grotesque, it's disgusting, and she's right. Now, if I want to do it,
I agree with that.
if I want to do it, I will do it on my own and keep it on my computer. I'm not going to put it out there. It's like
I
it's
certainly have to agree.
it's like I wouldn't mind doing it just to like look at it. It's interesting, but I'm never going to post it because it's like no. Do it for your own personal use, and
And,
not doing anything. That's fine, but when you start doing it like this, that's why AI. I mean, if used right, it's great. If used wrong, it can be a nightmare.
Right. For example, which I found out on my friend's Twitter account, the Michael Jackson estate is now trying to sue OpenAI
Mm-hmm.
for making all those Sora AI videos.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not
The
saying they're wrong
one
for
that
doing
they're
that.
really upset about is him walking into a KFC stealing chicken.
Mm.
Now, don't get me wrong, there are two Sora videos that were decent that I really enjoyed. Was him being a Jedi and him being a Starfleet officer.
Mm-hmm.
Now, those they could get away with scot free. But the only flaw to that is mainly the Starfleet officer thing is that is a right to Paramount.
And even then, Paramount can't do anything about that because the copyright law uh has a thing called fair use, and part of fair use is parody. So yes, am I saying it's wrong? No. Um, there's a little bit of extra news I just caught on my wall that I need to put out there,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna send it. I think when you see what it is, you're gonna be sickened by it. So get ready; it's gonna come into BT chat. You there, Shirley?
Yeah, I'm here. Sorry.
Check the check the BTA chat because I just put something in there that I want to have a little
Oh
bit of a
yes,
discussion with
I've heard
you.
about this one.
Hold on, let me see it.
So the Supreme Court is talking about legalizing conversion therapy in all 50 states. It's basically overturning, making any ban on conversion therapy unconstitutional. For those that don't know, conversion therapy is a very divisive thing that people like David Yost subjected himself to, where they're basically trying to for lack of a better term, pray the gay away.
Mm-hmm.
Um, here's the problem that I have with this. People on the LGBT spectrum have existed since before we even knew what to call it. It's existed in the animal kingdom. There are literal videos of male lions, male different animals having sexual relations with other male animals. Okay? It's not just it's not just something that came up recently. It's not something that is unnatural, even though the Bible tries to say it is. Even in the Bible, it was mentioned
Mm-hmm.
because David and Jonathan were implied through the text of being essentially lovers.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm going to say this right now. Anybody in this country who thinks that trying to force a person to be something they're not, this is another state of Nazism, for lack of a better term. It really is.
Mm-hmm.
What do you guys think?
I think they're sick to say that Trump lawyers claim there's no evidence of cause harm, despite every major medical group saying it's torture. Yeah, it's torture.
And
It
I
is.
have to agree with Frodo. Frodo has a point, a very good point.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, who? Let me ask you this, Lala. If you were gay, and I'm not saying you are, but if you were gay, would you want someone trying to shove uh and I'm gonna get very fucking descriptive here, but there's a good reason for this.
Mm-hmm.
Would you want some religious zealot trying to shove a penis up your vagina just because you're gay?
Heck no, I would be horrified.
Yeah, me too.
That's essentially what fucking conversion therapy is.
That's
And then there are
just
people that'll say, "Oh, but all the uh lesbians use dildos to get off." It's a physiological response. And to be frank, most women don't need a dildo to get off because you can get off most of the time with fingers on the clit. But the fact of the matter is this: I find the whole idea of conversion therapy to be beyond stupid, to be beyond retarded. And
Yeah.
I don't use that. Anyone in this show can tell you how frequently I use that word. I hate that word with a fucking passion. But for that, it is. What do you think?
Mm.
I agree with you 100%. And I think it's time we probably might have to end this a little bit early because
I'm falling
Shirley's been falling
asleep.
asleep.
I'm so sorry. I am
Good,
so
Shirley. But
sorry.
yeah, conversion therapy should be banned nation fucking wide.
Yeah, because I think what was it?
Conversion therapy doesn't work.
Yeah, because I think Mike Pence had actually tried that while he was governor of Indiana at the time, if I remember correctly.
Hmm.
But seriously,
But anyway,
why would anybody want to force a gay person to change? I feel like as long as you don't flaunt it all the time, because there are people who are, but a lot of people don't. You know,
Right, right.
yep.
that's the important thing. If I know people. I know I've met gay people who don't flaunt it. They act they like they don't do the the usual stuff. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Oh boy.
What's up?
Oh boy. Body cam footage shows that the Chicago woman shot by ICE after allegedly ramming agents with her car shows the exact opposite. The agent rammed her,
Mm-hmm.
then jumped out and started shooting.
Mm.
See, this
Okay.
is getting out of hand. People is getting mainly. This is getting out of hand. It's getting a dangerous. This is like a dangerous situation.
It is.
Yep,
It is. You're right.
it really is completely, utterly, and absolutely out of hand.
Yeah, because
And it needs,
some of these people that are not actually ICE agents, they're pretending to be ICE agents. They send like pull over cars, you pull somebody right out of the car and start beating them up. But thankfully, that one guy in Chicago, he was basically saved by everybody who was there. It's like get out of there, and then those two idiots had to go. Let's see. The oral arguments are going on for that in the Supreme Court, according to Saggio.
Well, the only thing I can say is I know this is political catch-up, and I know the midterms is coming up.
Yep.
The only thing I'm just gonna say is take it to the poll.
Yeah.
Take it to the poll. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah. Now, I will tell you this right now. For those of you who have elections like in the midterm, I've got big here in the state of Alabama too. Every office, governor, lieutenant governor, attorney general, they are all up for grabs in 2026. Now, the thing is, Kay Ivey cannot run again because she is at her 2-term limit. So we're gonna have a new governor regardless. So here's what you do between now and that first primary: start doing your homework. Start doing research on who is currently running. And then when someone else joins the fray, research them too. Find out which candidate is the one that fits you. Not everybody, and what you get for someone may be different to somebody else, which is fine. That's okay. But don't wait around for the last minute. Start doing the homework now. That way, come to primary time, you're ready to go. You know what you're doing. You can get in and out in no time. But
I agree. Like I told Dad, this afternoon we were discussing about it, and mainly I just gave him my short, sweet answer, and I said, "Dad, the only thing I'm just gonna say is take it to the poll." That's the only thing I could say is take it to the poll. That's the only way they can nip it in the butt.
Yep, because I've always said this. If you do not go vote and the person you want to win doesn't win, you do not get to complain because you didn't vote.
That's
yep,
true. And like I told my father before, and we were debating on this, I was like, well, I said, Dad, the only thing I can say is this is what the people voted for. So I don't know why they're complaining. They voted for it.
Yep.
They voted for
Exactly.
it. And now they're complaining about it.
Mm-hmm.
You voted for it. So
Yeah.
also,
the only thing I can tell you is take it up to the poll because it's midterm. Take it up to the poll. If you don't like it, take it up to the poll.
Yeah. That's right. Sacho, the New York
we
City mayoral race is next month. That's true. That one, yeah, that one's heating up. So,
also, before we end tonight's episode, I do want to make a mention to the National Weather Service and some updates. The tornado that occurred on June 20th of 2025 between the time of 11:02 and 11 p.m. Central Daylight Time that traveled 12.1 miles and had a maximum width of 1.05 miles, caused 3 deaths,
Mm-hmm.
has officially been rated as an EF5 tornado
Mm-hmm.
with peak maximum wind speeds greater than 210 miles per hour.
Mm-hmm.
What that means, why this is significant, is that
It basically
this
ended. It ended.
tornado
It ended the EF5 drought that has lasted
that's been going on.
Since the Moore, Oklahoma tornado, I believe, was May 20th, 2013.
Yep, and
And
it's been 12 years
Mm-hmm.
since we've had an official EF5. Although I'll be honest with you, I still want to I still want them to do some research and figure out if Greenfield was one,
Mm-hmm.
because Greenfield there was there was enough damage and readings saying that the wind was high enough that theoretically speaking, it should be an EF5,
Mm-hmm.
and
specifically
according
because
to my
it
knowledge, and
sparked.
according to my knowledge of the Vegeta scale, if it was an EF5, isn't that supposed to be like a wedge tornado?
Sometimes it
Usually,
doesn't have to be. Usually it is, but you can have like a still like. I remember. I think in a couple of tornadoes they were like stovetop, like stove, like a
stovepipe.
stovepipe. Thank you. That's how do I say stovetop? All right, a stovepipe tornado that can do just as much damage as an EF5. I mean, sometimes it's not always the
Here's the
size; it's the way.
The
I
spin,
I
the
went
spin
into an
ratio.
Mm-hmm.
well, it's not even just that. I explained this in a post on Facebook when the Greenfield tornado happened. The fact is, if you really want to look at it, a tornado that is smaller, let's say 1,000 yards in diameter or 500 yards in diameter, at the specific wind speeds, we're talking 210 miles per hour here,
Mm-hmm.
because that tornado is more compact, you're talking about more air molecules hitting every single square inch
Mm-hmm.
of whatever is going to in the path
Yeah.
per second, as opposed to a wider, let's say 1.5 mile wide tornado, where the because it's more spread out, there's going to be less um, air molecules hitting at a specific point. So, vis-a-vis, that means that theoretically, a tighter rotation with the same wind speeds can actually do more damage
Mm-hmm.
than a big ass tornado uh chucking rail cars.
Yeah.
That makes sense. That makes sense because the last time Maryland had a tornado where mainly I'm at Montgomery County was mainly last year when it struck the Montgomery Village,
Mm.
and it was a EF0 tornado.
Yeah. But it just goes
Yeah,
to show. E- EF.
most of the time, the smaller tornadoes don't have the strength to stay active long enough to be rated EF5. But if they have the power behind them, a smaller tornado with EF5 wind speeds would do more damage.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you. I would agree with you on that because the tornado that hit Montgomery Village in Montgomery County, Maryland, mainly, I have to be honest, the wind actually hit here
Mm-hmm.
and it blew my window out, my back window out of my room.
I believe it. I totally believe it.
Because I was
Anyway,
asleep.
you wanted to say something? You wanted to say something, Shirley? Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. I've seen footage, a lot of, I mean, go back to Gerald, Texas. It was an F5 tornado, but it was not a mile wide. That one, I mean, that one was,
Exactly.
yeah, that was an F5, but it was not a stovepipe or a wedge. Because if you remember the El Reno 2013 tornado, I believe that was only rated EF2 or 3 because it was basically out in rural areas and didn't really do a lot of serious damage, although it did kill Tim and Paul Samaras and Carl Young. So,
I just wanted to bring this up really quick to
Yeah.
mention that we now have a new, no more EF5 lacking, but we do need to give certain preference to that.
yep. All right. So anyway, here's where we end things for tonight. Friday we'll be back and we'll be doing Among Us, and it'll be Janet's birthday. Now Janet may come in late because it is her birthday. She may be out for dinner, and that's okay. That's not a big deal. All right. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to play the ending. So bear with me. Well, if I can get my mouse to work, there we go. All right, so with that in mind, I'm going to say love, peace, and chicken grease. Everyone have a great night. Sleep well, stay safe, and we'll see you on Friday for Among Us. So, peace. Oh, yeah, that's right. There'll be 2 new rules on Friday, too. We'll talk about that then. Later.